In thinking about this, I think people have been seduced into like an instant gratification way of thinking. And teaching is anything but instant. It takes a lifetime to see the effect of it. I'm just beginning now at 35 years to kind of get a sense of that.
My wife's always saying, you're always bringing your work home. And I said, it's impossible not to. And it's not just the grading of, work, but actually thinking about, how well is the student progressing? What's happening with, this particular class? And so there's a lot of work that goes into this that takes up my afternoons, my evenings, my weekends.
It can consume me. It's not just grading papers, even though that's time consuming, or planning. It's just the students, they overpower your mind sometimes. Maybe you know something about them, something they're going through, and those thoughts don't leave at 3 o'clock. They stay with you.
Everybody knows that the news these days is very depressing. This one story happened to be about a woman that pushed another woman into the train. And I remember my first thought was, what the heck is going on with people these days? And then I remember thinking, God, where are you in all of this madness? That very day, I come in, I'm in my room, and this one of my classes comes in, and I assigned them extra credit points. And I said to him, you'll have 3 chances, and I'll give you 1 hint when you ask for it. And immediately, some of his classmates sitting toward the end of toward the back of the room started singing, trying to give him a hint, trying to help him out. And he's hearing them, but he didn't make the connection. And then the student sitting in front of him made the connection with the song that the others were singing. And then he turned to me and said, December, say December. So the student says December, and I said, you got it. So now you get extra credit. And then he says to me, you know what, Mr. Figueroa, I want to share, I'm sorry. I want to share my extra credit points with my classmates, because he knew that they were helping him out, and so he responded in kindness. And at that very moment, I saw the face of God. And I said to them, it's so easy for us to be unkind. It's so easy for us to be rude and nasty. It's difficult to be kind.
Teachers give 100% of themselves. I was lucky enough to meet on several occasions Mr. Fred Rogers, the ultimate teacher. And he came to speak to us as educators, and he said, kids will see right through you in a New York minute. They'll see right through you. You have to give them your whole self. If it's fake, they know it.
You have to decipher the difference between a career and a vocation, and teaching is a vocation. You have to love it. I'm back home, and I remember the first time that I came back for that interview, Mr. Sullivan greeted me with a firm handshake and said, welcome home. And that touched me.
I got a call back. That was actually the second time I was in Mr. Sullivan's office. The first time was like when I was graduating, and it was kind of like a farewell. The second time was for my interview. So it was great, man. And the first thing he said to me when I walked through the doors was, welcome back home. So that was like the best feeling. So it's still surreal to me to this day. A lot of times when I'm teaching, I give examples when I used to be at Hallows, and I see the eyes looking like he's one of us, So it doesn't feel like work at all, and I love it, so.
A vicar of the Bronx once came to see us, give us a talk in the Brothers' residence. That's almost 35, 40 years ago. And he said to us, there are a lot of good people in the South Bronx, but he said to us, you have the cure. Education is the cure. And the sooner we realize that, the better off we will be.
I think the biggest thing is the relationships with my students, but with the faculty. I mean, I've worked with phenomenal people. I've been so blessed with the creative people that I've met. And they draw me into being more creative and more productive.
What came to my mind was when I first got hired here, and a lot of flood of memories. And I remember the feeling upon entering here was a feeling of being part of a family.
Working here, for me as an individual, just the people I work with are just amazing. They're caring individuals. I've been in the hospital, as you know, sick a few times. And it's just talk about blessed Edmund Rice feeling here. I've definitely experienced it.
Until you've been in these four walls and experienced what we have here, it's so hard to put into words. It's just a really special place. As I said earlier, in other places you're a new teacher for a year. Here you're a new teacher for a week. You know, everybody, it's like the famous Cheers. Everybody knows your name. And you want to be here because everybody knows your name. And if you're absent, the whole world is praying for you. And not just because they have to cover your class.
That's exactly what, let's go back again to why I came here, right? Someone brought me, right? My mentor, my former principal. And that's what the core of a family is, right? When you see someone down, pick them up. And that's what ignites me every morning to come and not only teach, but to spend some quality time with my peers, with my colleagues. Because for me, they are family. They're my brothers and my sisters, literally.
It's a great faculty here. I've been teaching over 50 years. I don't think I've ever had a better faculty with me. I look to myself as a member of a faculty, a member of a group, a member of educators that are trying to better the lives of the people in front of us. So I think overall, sometimes it's frustrating, but overall, I get great satisfaction in the fact that we do something for them.
That's why I stay in education. For me, it's a way to give back to another generation. All the good that I received in education, the seeds of faith that have been given to me over the years in Catholic education, this is an opportunity for me to give back to another generation. The influence of the brothers is great, so I attribute my vocation indirectly to this building at All Hallows. When you think of over 100 years, the thousands of students that have passed through these doors and how they've benefited academically, athletically, spiritually. And what I do as a teacher just continues that academically and spiritually, to give those seeds of faith, to give those skills that are necessary for success.
There is such a rich tradition here that if it were to disappear tomorrow, it would be such a loss. I know everything is evolving, everything is in transition, especially with the pandemic, where we changed how everything gets done. And I think that's just it. And we continue to put out into the world quality people. It's really hard to put in words when you see that scared little freshman walk in this door, and 4 years later, they're giving a talk at a world conference in Ireland. And so, wait a minute, that's Danny Shepard? That's Joel. We have people that work for Google. We have people that work for all the high-tech companies. And they all came from here. The world knows of All Hallows. And they need to continue to know about All Hallows.